So we talked about the advantages of sorting our data to group our data together and make it easier to find and analyze what we're looking for. For example, in the previous video, we sorted our date column to make our months go in chronological order. Well, let's say that we wanted to look at the cells of the month of March. Well, we can scroll down, find our March values, and look at the cells. Now, since this is a really short data set with only 27 records, what if you had thousands or hundreds of thousands of records? It would be very time-consuming to scroll down and find what you're looking for. So to start off, all we have to do is click a cell within our dataset, go to the Data tab, and inside the Sort and Filter group, we can click this big Filter button. Now this doesn't change anything in our dataset yet, but if you noticed, it added these drop-down arrows on our column headings. Now this is another important reason that we have column headers within our datasets. Let's say that we only want to look at records within the month of March. That means we need to apply a filter in our date column. So if we select the drop-down of our date column, we can choose which month that we want to display. So currently, all the months are checked, so all the months are being displayed. But if we uncheck the Select All, it unchecks all the months, and then we can select the month that we want to look at. So for this case, we want to look at the month of March, so we can check March and click OK. So now our dataset filters everything out except for the month of March, and we can see the cells for that month. We can also make multiple selections. What if you want to look at January, February, and March? We can go back to our drop-down and select January and February, and March is still selected. And if we click OK, now our dataset is showing the records for January, February, and March. At the moment, we only have one column filtered, but we can keep that filter in place and filter another column at the same time. So for example, let's say I wanted to look at the first 3 months, January, February, and March, and only the region of North and East. So I can click the drop down in our region column and deselect South. And if I click OK, now our dataset is showing January, February, and March, but only for the regions of North and East. Now currently, our date column and region column have this little funnel icon on our drop-down, and this is just symbolizing that we have a filter in place on these columns. So to clear all filters within our dataset, we can go back up to our Data tab, and within the Sort and Filter group, we can click Clear. And this will remove all the filters. Now depending on the values that you have in your columns, Excel offers some predefined filters as well. For example, let's take a look at the Cells column. Our values are numbers. So if we click this drop-down, it gives us all the values within that column. Now it really wouldn't do us much good if we filtered by a specific value. Now since the values within our column are numbers, Excel provides us an option for number filters. And here we can set what we want to look for. We can do equals to, greater than, less than, between, top 10, above average, below average, and even custom filters. And I strongly suggest playing around with these and practice filtering certain data. But as for a quick example, we can just select the top 10. And we can tell Excel to show the top or bottom items and the amount of items that we want to show. We can change this 10 to a 5. And if we click OK, now Excel filters our data to show the top 5 records within our cells column. Now like I said, sorting is great because at first glance our data looks all organized. But by applying filters, we can quickly see the data of our interest.